It almost feels like I'm in a time machine recording some voiceover for Battlefield, but man, does it feel right and it feels good. Hello, everyone. My name is Dangerous Moose, and it has been a while since I've sat down and really felt excited to make some sort of content for a game again. But of course, content comes with controversy, opinions, and everything else. So let's talk about Battlefield 6's Season 1 launching, well, today pretty much. I'm going to be covering all the things that are being changed in Season 1 and how I feel that affects from the game launch and if I agree and just sharing my opinions overall. So I really feel like we should get into it because there is kind of a little bit to cover. So first up, one of the big things for me that I actually thought was the assignment changes. Assignments were so interesting in Battlefield 6 for me because obviously they were not very Battle Dad friendly, as I guess now we're calling the casual base of Battlefield. So having to achieve something like 150 headshots at with like 200 plus meters away, it wasn't really casual friendly. Although I do agree actually keeping the number kind of high. I do see how they have already announced the reduction of, say, like the assault class challenge to get the spawn beacon going from 30 adrenaline kills to 3. That is a big change, but at the end of the day, I'm not like fully against nerfing the number. I think I just did want to keep it a little bit higher. I do like that there's content to the game. I do feel that sometimes a little bit, as gamers, we expect instant gratification, and reducing number down to like 3 instead of maybe like 10 or something was maybe a little bit too much of a change. But if they do find that people were struggling from it, and I do agree the injector kills were a little weird with how like long it took for the animation if you didn't like animation cancel. I just felt like there's a lot of very uncasual friendly grinding stuff in this game. So I'm not against a lot of these assignment changes that are changing, but I do hope that they do keep a little bit more of the grind so there is some content, so you don't just finish an assignment in one game and get everything done, because you don't want the game to be petered out immediately. But I get you also don't want to drive the 9 to 5 sort of guys, the guys that don't get to play all the time, the 70-inch 400 millisecond response time TV gamers. I get it, and I do think they should be included in games too, because gaming is for everyone. Speaking of what is though for everyone, the bloom fix, I have such an interesting love-hate relationship with a lot of the weapons in Battlefield 6, where bloom is like, at first, if you accidentally put on 2 attachments that were like bugged together, you had like super bloom, but then they kind of fixed some of them, but we didn't know all the ones that weren't fixed, and they kind of never really talked too much about it. But then they did fix the overall one of the movement issues that was causing more bloom, and it's felt good. Like, it hasn't felt bad, but there are definitely times where it's like, oh, my bullet went all the way to the right, like my barrel's pointing this way, now my bullet's over there. It's kind of crazy, but bloom fixes and overall accessibility, I mean, that was needed. And just the way they're going to change the game, reward tap firing, increase recoil on guns, don't increase bloom on guns. You don't have to make the gun look like a tornado every time it shoots. You can make guns have recoil. You can design guns to be built in certain ways. You want a lot of ammo, you're going to have a sacrifice of this. You want high muzzle velocity, sacrifice this. You want less recoil, sacrifice this. I think that they have a decent system. I like this like point system they have for designing the guns. It's a lot more dumbed down to those more modern Call of Duty vision that's been going on with these COD games lately. And I think that if they just kind of stick to how people want to design guns and allow weakness for guns and design around recoil instead of like my gun goes ah every time I shoot it, I think it makes a lot more better of experience for everyone. But man, like the experience though, when it comes to maps. Okay, this one here is kind of a big one. It's a hosh posh, as I like to say. It feels odd. Maps, they're so interesting because you can tell that they had this idea in mind for a lot of them, but then when it came down to the execution of it, it's like, oh, what happened here, or how did this happen, or there's like very big oversights. And I understand that you can't dictate a game's skill base a lot every single time a map's going to be put together. You will get stomped out, but I do feel like certain maps need something where like the whole point of like attacking and defending, specifically talking about rush and breakthrough, because I do want to talk about escalation also, because I've been loving that game out. That game was so much fun. But for breakthrough and rush, they feel unfortunate, like afterthoughts again, kind of how they did at the start of like Battlefield 1, where it's like you just kind of sloppily run at something, and there's some maps that are like, oh, this plays nice, you know what I mean? And then you get like New Sobek City, or like Manhattan Bridge, or you get like Mirak Valley, where it's just like, okay, where is the meaningful choke point? Like, the thing I've always noticed about good Battlefield maps is that you want to take almost like the secondary objective, if you think of it that way. All right, you want to go for like B. Well, B has this like building that overlooks it. Maybe your team should go take that first. Get the high ground, position yourself a spawn beacon, get yourself ready. Then you go push and attack. There's like levels to it, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of discourse on Twitter being like, run, play the objective, sit on the flag, I have 900 captures, oh, spam revive, spam revive. There's a lot more to Battlefield than only PTFOing. Like, to PTFO, you actually have to have map control. You can't just spawn in and be like, I'm going to run at B and lick it, and then going to spam revive everyone and hope Jimmy kills 3 people. Like, that's not kind of how anything works. Even if you look at the actual like military, if you want to get like realistic with it, I've never like, they have objectives that lead to their objectives. There's steps and procedures, you know, and this is one of them where some maps don't feel like steps and procedures. Or exactly on Mirak Valley on Breakthrough, some of the broken buildings, it almost feels like the defenders have more trench, they have more better cover, and those secondary objectives, especially on like Mirak Valley, they don't feel impactful. Like, you get to a spot, but then there's too much dead zone. You can throw a smoke, you can throw this, but by the time you cover yourself with the smoke or you make up enough distance, there wasn't another hard point to get to. And then that also, what that does, that breaks the flow of the map. So, because you need both your teammates at all times to have one side of map pressure and the other side to have map pressure. But ultimately, when there's not enough position to apply that pressure, well, you have an air hole. And now everyone looks like Swiss cheese, unironically. So I hope to see that these map fixes that they're going to adjust for certain game modes do actually add cover. They do change stuff because, like I mentioned on Manhattan Bridge Breakthrough, I specifically mentioned Breakthrough, not Rush. Because Breakthrough, you can get up on the building that like oversees, like I think of like on Conquest, it's like C or something. You can get up there and you can get some sick sniper fire and you can have this high ground. But on Rush, those ropes are removed to get up there. So you can't really go up there. Now, unfortunately, the worst map in the game for some reason, Operation Firestorm, I don't know what they did. I don't actually think at a core fundamental Firestorm's bad. I think especially on Escalation, because Conquest, it doesn't really feel like this, but Escalation, why is the entirety of the gameplay on the left side of the map? Or if you're spawning from the US, the left side of the map. If you're spawning on Pax Armada, you're on, you know, the right. But like, the Pax Armada side literally has, when you get down to the like last 3 flags, not only is it a giant open field that's all the way over there, you know what I mean? The Pax Armada team gets their mountain. So these guys get to walk up on their spawn, sit up tanks up on a hill, lob tanks at you, and like, don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, you know, oh, well, win faster, but like, that's kind of a dumb excuse. Like, even throughout the neutral points of the map, have something break into, I'm talking from the NATO side, have something like break into the right side, have the oil refinery, the middle point, and then something else, have it go on a diagonal angle, have it more neutral, having the ability for their whole team to sit up on a mountain while you guys are trying to get D and just lob tank shells and sniper rounds and everything else being completely protected or like outside of any sort of combat range doesn't make much sense. And then your guys' new gimme flag is still closer to their spawn. I don't get it. Firestorm Escalation, put it in the laundry machine, wash it out, throw it in the dryer, put it back in the oven, sprinkle something on it, bake it again. I don't know what they're cooking with it, but Firestorm is pretty chalked. And ultimately, I just hope to feel across every single map, like, more meaningful cover. There's too many times where it's like I get to a point or a choke where I'm trying to isolate something, but it just, I always feel a little exposed. So I hope there is more rolling, meaningful cover. I just feel like I'm lobbing smokes at stuff too much, and especially with the way, like, the gadget stuff works. Like, yeah, I have, like, 5 smokes on support, technically, if you have the smoke launcher and the nade, but, like, that's not cover. It's concealment. And then if you still get spot, like, it's a whole meaningful cover and being able to be a thorn in someone's side to make a play happen, being aggressive, needs to be able to be rewarded by an actual hard point and not just, like, throwable, deployable cover. It really isolates the whole thing of whatever class you want to play and how you're playing it to work. But I just hope to see some big change on that. But most importantly, something that I really want to talk about is what actually I feel makes these maps good / bad. The big elephant in the room, and what I actually feel is the most important update to this, is the visibility and lighting changes. For too long have I tried to like stare at a building, like especially on Liberation Peak. There'll be times where I'll like get into a building and I'll try to like look left and right out a building, and it's like I'm being birthed. Like, I have seen the light. It's insane to me, honestly. And I think that also visibility of players too kind of also coincides with some of the things I was talking about with the whole like meaningful cover thing. If I can stop and see what I'm trying to engage without these like weird dust particles, or like the camos work really well, but it is a video game too. And it goes back to making it accessible for everyone. Because, like, if you're super hard playing the game and you're complaining about, like, visibility, and then you can only imagine how, like, a casual guy feels. Like, some battle dad just walking through, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, he gets shot because he can't see the guy that's, like, super blended in. Like, you want a gaming experience. I just really feel that this lighting change first needs to go, because I should not be, like, in the opening cutscene of Skyrim every single time. It's like, oh, look at this. I've awoken from my 9-year sleep. When I walk through a door, we're good. We're good. The whole club said we're good. We're going to pass on that. We're going to get some better lighting. And I just want to see people I'm shooting at. Like, I can see them pretty decently when they get close range, but there's some times where it's just like, there's a lot of people on their bellies. I think that's it, dude. This is like Battlefield 6. I don't get it. I get everyone's getting chain rezzed or like this and that, but like sometimes when people are like dead still, not moving, you just think they're a dead body. You can't really differentiate what's going on. I hope they find some way to address this. Maybe a little sort of like hue difference between a live and dead character. Little subtle changes, but hey, a brother can dream and a brother can hope. But hey, let's talk about the big content coming out though, the actual stuff. So besides 2 new weapons, being a new carbine and a new sniper rifle, which look very exciting, we have new attachments also will be rolling out later on. Bro, we get a new map. The oil field map looks like a fun little, not fun. It's actually a big map. Not fun. Sorry, I meant not little. It looks fun. It looks fun. Big map. This oil field map looks really nice. I have seen there's no helicopters on it, which is kind of exciting. I like the idea that an open style map is supposed to be more jet dominated. I think that will make more cinematic experience and also a very balanced experience. Helicopters are precision tools that can snipe you from the sky. You can only imagine what's going to happen if someone just kit swaps you the entire time while hovering up in the air. Some guy blows you up. Whatever. But hey, I don't mind fighting helicopters. I'm just saying I like that they're thinking about the vehicles meticulously when putting in these new maps and everything else. On that, it looks sick. I'm actually excited to play it. But of course, the elephant in the room. Now, I'm not much of a BR guy, but this Redsec thing, it seems simple. It looks untraditional BR, where it looks like it's a giant ring of fire that encloses. And as it encloses, like, it doesn't look like there's different little zones that pop up like in traditional battle royales like Fortnite or Call of Duty, which seems cool. It also seems like they're still approaching that more casual, approachable thing that Battlefield's always done. But hey, I'm not much of a BR. There's only a duo and quads game mode, which I'm happy for because Battlefield is a team game. So I want to see how they really make the squad system work inside of a BR. But I'll be watching it. I don't know if I'll be playing it much. I'm more of a multiplayer guy myself, and so are my friends. So probably doing that. And of course, the battle pass. Listen, Reddit, I see you guys. You don't want to revive someone who's got a colorful skin on. It's not that deep. It's not a pink fuzzy fursuit. It's okay. It's blue. It's green. Have a little bit of fun. You know what I mean? I agree, though. I like some of the concept art I've seen of these hyper realistic tactical cool bro, super spec op guys stuff. I like those. I saw like this sick like tack poncho thing. I wanted that, but it's a fan design, and that's okay. Like, I hope that Battlefield sees this stuff and they add that in later. But I'm also not disappointed with the stuff they're adding in now. It looks cool. It's exciting. It feels Battlefield. If you look at 2042, if you look at like 5 and even 4, like the default skins, like they have this tactical bro aspect to them, and I think they fill it out very well. I like the weapon. The weapon kits, things they're called. I always call them blueprints. I think they're called like weapon packages in this game. Those look fire. I'm super excited. But let me know what you guys are thinking for Battlefield 6 Season 1 drop in. Well, this video is probably going to come out on the 27th, so by the time watching it, it's already out. I think it's like 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern it drops, so that's very exciting. Thank you guys again. Let me know what you think, and make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.